And I go back to Coach Pitino, who's coached all over the world. I mean, obviously when he left Louisville, he went over to Greece, et cetera. And he brought up the point that the budgets for college basketball teams, the big guys, are bigger than G League budgets.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
That when he said that, that shocked me, Murray. It's amazing.
What's interesting to me, salary-wise, is 5 or 6 years ago, let's say we were talking about guys that were going to go into the G League. You know, those guys, if they're E10 guys, those guys would be making, let's say, 120,000. If they were good enough to be a two-way guy, they were going to make about 600,000. Well, 5, 6 years ago, that sounded like a lot of money to these guys. The problem now with these best players at the Power 4 schools, they'll all take, if they go to play in the G League now, they're going to be taking a pay cut. You know, or if they go to play, or if they're even if they're a two-way guy, let's say they're a two-way guy making $650,000, a lot of these guys now are making over $1 million. So it's pretty unusual now what's going on. But and what you're seeing, Doug, and this is obvious, but you're seeing guys stay longer and longer and longer in college because there's no, you know, if you can stay in college longer and make over $1 million a year, unless you're going to be a first-round pick, there's no reason to risk it and possibly be a G League guy, and you'll be making a tenth of what you were potentially making at a Power 4. So it's pretty different right now.
Well, and outside of basketball, I mean, do you see this like, let's say in college football, somebody needs a left tackle and there's a guy in the Canadian Football League. Could he come back? I mean, in baseball, if there's a guy for the Birmingham Barons who played at an SEC school, could he come back? I mean, is this going to infiltrate other sports?
It's a good question. It's a good question. That's why I'm scouting and I don't have to worry about all that. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of moving parts if you're a college coach right now. A lot of moving parts. You know, I look back at my days at East Tennessee State, and I had a bunch of good players and a bunch of good teams. No way to keep those guys now. Like if you're at a school like that and let's say you get a really good freshman, I won't name their names, but like I look in the Southern Conference right now and there's 3 or 4 really good freshmen that are averaging 16, 17, 18 a game. There's no way, if you're the head coach of that program, there's no way you can expect him to be back with your program next year as a sophomore because he's going to get plucked away. And so that's what you're seeing in the low to mid-major conferences. They just can't keep their guys. And got to be frustrating. And even my good friends who are at high-level programs, it's very different. They're having to adjust, and it's very different now with obviously the portal and combined with NIL.
Yeah, and you look at a guy like Mark Pope, and reportedly they spent $22 million on a roster, and they're starting to play better now, and they've had a ton of injuries, but it just chemistry-wise, it just wasn't working early in the season. So I guess you spend a lot of money, you just never know, right?
You never know, and in Mark's defense, and you mentioned it already, Mark's a heck of a coach, but you get Jaden Quaintance, and you're paying him the most money, I'm sure.
Yep.
And he's a potential lottery pick, and he's been basically out the whole year. Your point guard, you're probably paying, I'm guessing, the second most money, or certainly he's being paid a lot, and then he gets hurt, Jalen Lowe, the transfer from Pitt. So anyway, they've lost their point guard, they've lost their center in Jaden Quaintance, and their other guys are good, but I don't see their other guys like his potential. I don't think he's got any other first-round guys on his team. He's got some fringe guys. So I tell you, you bring something up, Doug, that's interesting. I think coaches now are getting scrutinized even more. And like from the boosters and from your donors, just what you said, you brought up the $22 million figure. So now fans know those numbers, and so now they're going to start judging you as a coach based on your evaluation skills. Let's say you've got a kid that publicly, it's pretty well known that he's making $2 to $3 million. And let's say you're not getting a lot out of him, well, then the fans start. I just think it's another thing that's going to be very hard for coaches to navigate.
It is a very unusual time for those of us who've been in college basketball a long time.